Shalom, everybody. I hope everybody had a great day. Man, Adrian, he's been killing it today. Shalom, Alexandra. If you've been hanging out, I haven't seen you recently. That name does not ring a bell. But I see we're friends. Shalom. I'm going to go grab a pen real quick. I haven't heard from Crucifix. I'm not sure if he fell asleep or... Yeah, you, Alexandra. I haven't seen you. We're friends, but I just haven't heard from you or seen you for a while. So, shalom. Good to see you, though. Glad you're here. Well, I hope that this live is worth joining tonight. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for some people to get in here. And if Crucifix doesn't get in here, then we'll just kind of change gears a little bit and do something else. But for now, we can talk amongst ourselves. Get some invites out there, get some more people in here. You guys like that Jeremiah depiction there? Hey, shalom, brother.
Hey, bro. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing. Just had a very, very long day at work today.
I feel you on that. I don't know what time you left, but I left about 7:30, and I'm just winding down right now.
Really? Yeah, I worked from 7 to 3 today. Well, that's just my normal hours because they give you the option at work if you don't take lunch, you can get off 30 minutes early. So I normally don't eat lunch. I'll eat while I'm working.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, that's a nice little perk.
that is. It's nice when companies do that because I'd rather just keep working than eat lunch.
Yeah, me
Some
too.
places they'll make you take an hour, and it's like, man, come on! Like, what am I gonna do for an hour? Like, but
Yeah, yeah.
I spent more time driving today than anything. I drove probably 4 hours today. And then that wasn't including really picking up my kids and stuff. So I drove more than that after that, another hour and a half at least. So
So what kind of carpentry do you do? Just out of curiosity.
anything and everything. I mean, I've been doing it for 25 years. So I started out doing framing and like building houses to begin with. Probably by the time I moved out here, which was 15 years ago, so by the time I was about 28, 30, I had already built probably 500 houses. I was foreman by the time I was 14, so it's kind of like my niche. Like I started when I was 17 and fell in love with it and never really changed from it. And I own my own company for about 17 years now.
Oh wow, nice.
Yep. So I've been doing that, and I took a little break and bought a steakhouse and a bar. But that was right toward, I was going to retire from the construction and just do that and cook and stuff and run the bar. But that was kind of tied in with my ex-wife. And when the divorce happened, I just walked away from all that.
Mm.
and just went back to construction. But when I'd started doing that, a brother told me, he was like, just remember your skills and don't forget them. And now I know exactly why he told me that.
Yeah, we got to notice the skills that he always gave us, and mine was welding. I don't know why. I just always had a knack for steel. And,
Yeah,
um,
see, that's something I've never been like. I would much rather work with wood than steel, and there's a lot of people that would rather work with steel than wood.
hmm
And
I like working with wood too. I carved a bow out of cherry wood log, and that was pretty fun. That was a week long project, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed
wow,
it.
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
But yeah,
I've never done nothing like that. I've done a lot of woodwork, but nothing like that.
nothing like that.
No.
Yeah, it was different. My friend, I have a friend up in Minnesota, and believe it or not, I haven't spoke to him 5 years, and he called me out of blue today, and I really miss that guy. He helped us out a lot when I was up there in Minnesota. He called me, and we were talking about his carpentry. He wanted to get in carpentry. He's the one that taught me how to do that. Hey, Jared, how you doing, brother? Love you, man. Um, Taught me about how to shape it, form it, and go by the growth rings of the wood. And he's the one that gave me my first stave, which was a cherry blossom wood stave, and got me a draw knife and a hatchet, and just went to town on it. Started debarking it, and it was uh, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's really cool. That's the
I'll
kind of
send you
stuff.
some pictures.
Yeah.
Huh?
As I'm getting older, that's the kind of stuff that I want to get more into, is the stuff that takes a little bit of time and is like more quality. Everything I've done is kind of just like slap it together. Framing especially it's not slap it together, but when you get into trim work, that's kind of more fine, and that you take a little more pride in that stuff. But like something like you're talking about, that's just awesome right there. Like something you can actually use, and like and it could be handed down. It'll last, and that's awesome.
I never got into that kind of carpentry. I did though. I mean, I wanted to, but the last time I did some like well, I want to say structural because of steel, but framing. I built my chicken house. That was it.
Yeah.
Which it turned out pretty good. It turned out good. I'm gonna take some pictures of it because I'm gonna have to go out there and tear it down before I move out of here
Ah,
because it's not mine. But
yeah. Yep. So I was yeah, I do about everything. Like I right now I'm doing some carpet, some flooring. I replaced some sheetrock and did some painting a couple days. I do I work for a school district up where I just do maintenance, so whatever they need. I'm pretty kind of like a jack of all trades, but um that's I can do mechanic work and stuff too, but I don't make no money at that.
yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
that's what I'm.
welding and stuff is something I've never gotten into.
It's fun because you get to make it's like artistic. Just like carpentry's artistic if you think about it. Like
Yes.
trim work and stuff like that. It's just you try your best to make it look really nice and pleasing. I'm not the kind of person that I don't like to rush 100. I like quality when it comes to my work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why if I ever land a job where they're trying to just it doesn't matter what it looks like, just get it out. I'm like, no, 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 that's not who I am. I mean, yes, I can get it done quick, and that's fine, but I don't like doing that. I
Yeah.
like to make mine look really nice. When the customer looks at it, they'll be like, oh man, that I trust that. You know what I mean?
Yep. I know
Good
exactly
job.
what you mean. That's why I work by myself and I don't have to advertise. I know exactly what you mean. uh, yeah, I just yeah, I like I've gone through where when I first started out here, first started my company, I had 4 crews going, and by the end of that first summer, and it was just too much. Like you couldn't trust their work for one, and then you got just you're just running. Like I wasn't even working; I was just constantly going back and forth babysitting, and that was no fun, really. Like the money was good, but man, headache after headache. So since then, I've just kept scaling back, and before before I did the bar and restaurant thing, it was just me and one other guy, and then like now it's just me, and I don't even want to hire anybody. But
Yeah.
but mainly because of the government. I really don't want to have to do all the crap with the government. If I could just pay them and not have to worry about it, I'd be okay with it. But everybody gets involved, and then you can't trust people, and then they talk smack behind your back and stuff like that. And this, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. It's persecution after persecution,
Oh yeah.
especially when you're a business owner as well.
Oh yeah. I can imagine. I can only imagine. I've never done it. I thought about getting a welding rig, but and going up north and doing pipe welding and stuff. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cold up there. Yeah, and then in the Dakotas, because you live there. But
Dude, it's going to be negative 26 tonight without the wind chill.
yeah, yeah. I remember those days when I was up in North Dakota. We had the negative 50. I think it was negative 50. Uh, that was without the wind chill. That was the polar vortex they had like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
was here for that. Yeah,
yeah, that was cold, man. That was cold.
yeah.
You walk
That'll,
outside, it just takes your breath right away.
yep, that's about, with the wind chill, it'll be about that tonight, you
I
know.
believe it.
So, sorry, I don't mean to drag this on, but where were you at in Minnesota? I lived there 25 years. I grew up there.
Oh, I lived in Red Wing, right where they make the Red Wing boots.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Awesome. I was in St. Cloud.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they call it the state of the thousand lakes, but really they should call it the state of the bazillion mosquitoes because of all
Oh,
the lakes. The mosquitoes are awful there, but man, it's such a beautiful state. I was just telling my friend that still lives up there. I said, man, you don't understand how much I still think about that state. It's so beautiful.
it is. Especially when you get north and stuff, like north of where I'm at. Well, even,
Hmm.
the Mississippi is beautiful no matter where you're at on it, but yeah, you start getting down towards the cities, and it's pretty, but I mean it's just so populated now. It's not that pretty anymore. But like Brainerd area and stuff, man, that's awesome around there.
I have never been up there. I went through Bismarck. I mean, I'm pretty sure I might have had to go through there, but I went through Bismarck. I was on the north.
West
Um,
side, right?
I was in the only portion of North Dakota where you couldn't stand on a quarter and see the whole state. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It was very mountainy and full of bison and wild horses where I went. So it
Hmm.
was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I've never been over that way really. I maybe drove through it once, but that's about it probably.
Yeah. Well, I think there's only two roads that go straight through it. Is the northern one and the southern one. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I
definitely interesting.
I know I drove through there once when the Red River was overflowing
Really?
or whatever. Isn't it right by the Red River, or is it not?
Oh, hold on. Let me look real quick.
Maybe I'm thinking of the other side, or the other spot. I mean, the other side is the lake.
So the place that I used to live was Watford City. It was about an hour drive from Williston. It was
Dude,
northwest.
that's where my wife's at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I go.
uh,
That's where I work for the school and everything up there. That's
oh,
crazy.
okay. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yep. That's where I used to work at. Is Watford City. I used to work on all the crude oil trucks out there.
Okay. Yeah, she works for an oil company out there as well, doing safety. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's expensive up there, man.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. That's well. We were just telling you about her studio, her hotel room that she pays for.
And when I was up there, what was it, 5 years ago? I was paying 1,500 for a one bedroom trailer. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, it was. It's very expensive.
Yep. Crazy. All right. Well, should we get into this? I'm sure everyone's getting a little bored of our.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
hmm
You're
Sorry,
still hanging
but I
out
wanted
there.
to
No worries.
address a brother here, TikToky. Hey, brother from South Africa, how are you doing? Um,
Cool.
yeah, um, brother Jared is right about what he told you, brother. We all need to stay put in our place. Um, I could pull up some prophecy about that. Not coming to Egypt, you know, because we're about to go into tribulation, and you guys are the descendants of the land, and just do right by the Father. That's all I can tell you. You know, keep doing right. A lot of us are going through some very tough times, and we see. I've been watching what's going on over in your country very closely, and I know it's going to start there and it's going to spread. So just know we're praying for you over there, and just be safe, okay? And do what the Father says to do, and continue to be a plowman, and warn the brothers and sisters over there that they need to repent and turn back to the Father. That's about the best thing you can do right now.
One thing a lot of people, get anxious or work themselves up about is, if we get into the end times, what's going to happen? Well, the coming kingdom is when we take our last breath, no matter how that happens. No matter if it happens till we live to be 90, 100 years old, or if we walk outside and crash on the way to work tomorrow. That's our last chance. So we need to be in covenant today and right now because that's going to happen. Like I think you've mentioned it one time, CrossFix. Like when we die, it's going to be kind of like we're in a dream, and then we'll be woke up, and it won't really feel like that long.
And we'll be in judgment.
Yep.
So
So we don't have any more chances after we pass, however, whatever that looks like. So we can't get anxious. We can't get worried about the things that are happening around us. We just have to stay in covenant. We have to stay on track, stay on that path, and make sure that we are right no matter what's coming, no matter when. And that's why the Messiah preached repent, and he did with adamancy from the beginning to the end. One of the last things he said before he ascended to heaven was to all people preach repentance.
hmm
I think that's Luke
yeah.
24:17. If anybody wants to look it up.
I'll go over there, bro.
Sorry, I just had my dog.
While brother Adrian was live, I was going through, what is that? Leviticus 9, and I noticed something really, really crazy. And then I had to go back to Leviticus 8 again and make sure I was understanding what Father was trying to show me. And that's just like, wow, so cool how everything's going to be established.
Yeah, like now that you've shown me that that there's like prophecy in the Torah, like wow, I'm excited to go read all of that stuff again too. Like there's too much for me to want to read the time I have. That verse is actually Luke 24:47. I'm sorry about that. But I'm gonna read it for you quick while CrossFix is looking.
I'm pulling it up. I pulled it up, and 46 and 47.
Yep.
Well, let's read 45 through 47. I'll read the whole thing for you guys. It
Yeah,
says
go ahead. Do it in your version.
45. Then he opened their minds to understanding the scriptures and said to them, thus it has been written, and so it is necessary for the Messiah to suffer and to rise again from the dead the third day, and the repentance and forgiveness of sins should be proclaimed in his name to all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. That's where you guys are That's where you guys are at over there, TikToky. And you are witnesses of these matters. And see, I am sending the promise of my Father upon you, but you are to remain in the city of Jerusalem. You hear that? Until you are clothed with power from on high. And he led them out as far as Bethany, and lifting up his hands, he blessed them. And it came to be, while he was blessing them, that he was parted from them and was taken up into heaven. And they, having bowed down to him, returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the set apart place, praising and blessing Elohim. Amen.
Hallelujah for that. That was great. That is one of the best things right there that, we can use that as a weapon against the enemy, very much so. Many enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that was some of the last words that our Messiah ever gave to us. And you want to talk about any Christians or anybody that wants to teach faith only, this proves right here that the Messiah thought otherwise, because this is after his resurrection and before his ascension.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we got to do the good works. You want to go over the curses of the law tonight?
Sure.
We can
That
go over
was
that.
Kevin. We just read Luke 24:45 through the end, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep. 45 to the end. I should have wrote. Uh, I should have. I should have read 44 as well, but
I can read it too quick. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me.
hmm
Mhm. All must be fulfilled. And we're still waiting on some of them things.
hmm You remember when Adrian was talking about the 144,000, how they're not going to taste death
You know,
earlier?
I was kind of in and out at that last live because I got the kids and I was getting them fed and stuff. So I saw you commented something about it, but I wasn't really catching everything that was being said at that time.
Well, this is what I was trying to show. I know he was on track with something, and I wasn't trying to get him off track. I was just trying to show him something that I noticed here of the anointing of the priests, um, which is on the seventh day. Um, and then what happens after the eighth day is just will really blow your mind. It's let me put it this way: you know that there's 7,000 years, and on the 8,000 year, that's when we're going to see the New Jerusalem, right?
Yep.
Okay, so on the seventh day, right here, hold on, go to Leviticus 8:33 through 36. I'm just showing you something cool, and then we can go over to the curse,
Okay.
the curses.
And ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle on the congregation in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he hath done this day, so Yahweh hath commanded to do, to make atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle for the congregation day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of Yahweh that ye die not, for so
What?
I am commanded.
Keep the charge of Yahweh so you did die not.
Yep. So you receive eternal life.
Now, read 9 verse 1.
And it
Let's see
came to
if you can.
pass on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel.
Okay, just pause right there. I wanted to show you this. Go over to verse 4, and then later on go back and study this. But remember, this is the eighth day.
Okay. As a bullock and a ram for peace offerings to sacrifice before Yahweh, and a meat offering mingled with oil. For today Yahweh will appear unto you.
On the eighth day.
Hmm.
Read verse 6.
And Moses said, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded that ye should do, and the glory of Yahweh shall appear unto you.
On the eighth day.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When he will tabernacle with us.
Yeah. I just wanted to show you that. I thought you would think that was pretty cool. There's a lot more that I could try to break down, but it's something that you guys would have to go study yourselves. I was just pointing out something to you that was really cool that I found.
That is really cool. That kind of like speaks about the judgment day as the
Mm-hmm.
sacrifices and offerings.
It is. That's what it is.
Wow. Awesome.
Remember, as it is in heaven, so it shall be here on earth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I don't even need to study it. I just found, yeah, you showed me enough to make me know it.
Well,
That's sweet.
I would definitely study it. You know,
Well,
go,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course, yeah, definitely. But I just wanted to point that out that it's so awesome how everything is perfectly aligned. That's how we definitely know this is Yahweh's word.
right.
It's just how perfectly everything aligns right up, connecting dots, and you know, it's.
So I'm gonna bring up something else about so there was conversation in one of the groups about circumcision today.
Hmm.
And Nikolai was bringing up verses and stuff, and I read the one about how the the child's supposed to be circumcised on the eighth day.
Hmm.
Well,
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's the eighth day. All children need to be circumcised by Judgment Day.
Mm.
That's the eighth day.
Well, on the eighth day, that's when we'll see the new heavens and earth will be completely. Yeshua will have the remnant cleaned up when we see the Father. So yeah, I mean, our hearts would be circumcised and to submit fully to the Father.
Right.
So that would be on the eighth day. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. He's speaking about it there too. Like I don't know the verse right offhand and then the context, but when he shared it and when I read it, that's all I saw was the eighth day, the like New Jerusalem in it. You know, that's all I saw.
I never spotted that, bro. That's really good. It's good that you caught that.
Well, thank you. It's making sense. I'm seeing it.
Hmm.
You're showing it to me. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. It means that you're being submissive to him, and he's revealing the word to you. That's awesome. This is how iron sharpens iron, is us getting together and doing this stuff together.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure if we go in the chat, the verse is in there. I mean, it's an easy verse, but I should have wrote it down, but to dig into that more, I'll have to do it later. But what are we gonna call this? We're calling this the curses.
The the blessings and the curses. I'm
All
gonna write
right,
that down too.
all right. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see, T. Lee. Funny you bring this up. I was just discussing the eighth day with someone today. You know, I really haven't discussed the eighth day at all, really much lately, and it's coming up a lot lately. So,
Alexandra, yes, we know that it first comes circumcision of the heart, realizing that you're supposed to be obedient to the Father and all His words, our Messiah Yeshua is the Word, and be submissive, and then all the circumcision of the flesh comes afterwards. So first comes the circumcision of the heart.
you know, luckily you don't have to worry about that. Because I've heard it's not the best for some men that have that want go through that when they're older in life.
Hmm. My mother, I'll just say, my mother had both of us when we were children. So
Yeah,
glad I didn't remember that.
yeah. I've the same for me and my kids, and it's if this one's a boy, it'll be the same for them too.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're expecting, are you?
I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't know. You didn't
Oh
tell me that.
yeah. Yeah. We just got done with the first trimester, so
Wow. Well, congratulations, bro.
thank you. Yeah, that's a big part of the reason why we're not leaving anywhere either. Like we're gonna be. No one knew that. Oh well, crap. I guess maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I thought it was. I thought it was out there.
Oh, no, didn't know that. Congratulations, bro. I'm happy for you, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I could have swore she had said something or whatnot, but yeah, I mean we don't really talk about it much either. But yeah, thank you very much. Like it's a great blessing. We she didn't think she could get pregnant anymore or at all. She's never had a child, and this is uh this is her first. So
Wow.
yeah, yep. So it'll be great. Um, all things happen for a reason, right? Like if I wouldn't have got divorced, then this child wouldn't be coming along because my ex, she wasn't having no more kids. So
How many will this be now?
for me,
Yeah,
7.
seven. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I've got four. So,
All right. I got 3 of them that are like over the age of 19 though. So, um,
oh, really?
yeah, they're all adults and moved on in life, and they're all in Minnesota still. So,
Are they?
yeah,
That's good.
yep. But
Well, give me 2 seconds and we'll get started.
yeah, most people they get really they're like 7 kids. Wow, that's a lot this day and age. But I don't mind it. I mean, I would be happy with 10.
Yeah. All right. I'm excited. This is my highlight of my night after all the things going on, and this really is my highlight. It really is.
That's right. Seven's a perfect number. We have been blessed. Like she really holds on to that stuff, and she prayed a lot, and man, it's not something we thought was going to happen, or her especially. You know, so hopefully, and it's going to be the only kid that I have that's going to be raised in the Torah. So that'll be amazing in itself.
Alrighty. You ready, brother?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll hold on. Let me see how far this goes. Uh, hold on 1 second. Let me just figure out because I'm gonna help you read tonight. I'm not gonna make you do all the reading. I want us both to read.
Okay.
Okay. I'll read the verse 15 for the blessings. We'll just take turns
Where
whenever, you know.
where are we at? Where are we starting?
Verse 1.
Where what book are we in? I must have missed it.
Oh, Deuteronomy 28.
Okay. All right. And it shall come to pass. Let me put my glasses on quick.
I can read it if you want. You can
Yeah,
take a
go
break.
ahead.
All right. And it shall be, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh, your Elohim, to guard, to do all his commands, which I command you today, that Yahweh, your Elohim, shall set you high above all nations of the earth. and all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Blessed are you in the city, and blessed are you in the field. Blessed is the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your livestock, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed are you when you come in, and blessed are you when you go out. Yahweh causes your enemies who rise against you to be smitten before your face. They come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Yahweh commands the blessing on you in your storehouses and all to which you set your hand, and shall bless you in the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. Again, guys, this all has to pertain to the second Exodus, so this applies to us as well, when the gathering of the elect takes place. Yahweh does establish you as a set apart people to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you guard the commands of Yahweh, your Elohim, and walk in his ways, and all peoples of the earth shall see that the name of Yahweh is called upon you, and they shall be afraid of you. And Yahweh shall make you to have plenty of what is good, in the fruit of your body, in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground, in the land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give you. Yahweh opens to you his good treasures, the heavens, to give the rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, but you do not borrow. And that's something we messed up on. We borrowed from nations we shouldn't have. And Yahweh shall make you the head and not the tail, and you shall be only on top and not be beneath. If you obey the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you today to guard and do not turn aside from any of the words which I am commanding you today, right or left, to go after other mighty ones to serve them. And it shall be, if you do not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard to do all his commands and his laws which I have commanded you today, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed are you in the city, and cursed are you in the field. Cursed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed is the fruit of your body and the fruit of your land, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flocks. Cursed are you when you come in, and cursed are you when you go out. Yahweh sends on you the curse, the confusion, and the rebuke in all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly, because of the evil of your doings by which you have forsaken me. Yahweh makes the plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. You hear that? Again, this is second Exodus stuff right here for you. Yahweh strikes you with wasting disease and with inflammation and with burning and with extreme heat and with the sword and with blight and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. And your heavens, which are over your head, shall be bronze, and the earth, which is under you, iron. Yahweh makes the rain of your land powder and dust. For the heavens it comes down on you until you are destroyed. Yahweh causes you to be defeated before your enemies. You go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and you shall become a horror to all the reigns of the earth. And your carcasses shall be for food for all the birds of the heaven and the beasts of the earth, and no one to frighten them away. Remember? Do you remember that? Does that sound familiar to you, Bo?
Absolutely. Yep.
In Revelation, all ye birds of the heavens come and feast
On the
the great wedding supper of the Lamb.
things. Yep.
Yahweh shall strike you with the boils of Egypt, and with tumors, and with the scab, and with the itch from which you are unable to be healed. Tell me that's not happening right now.
Oh yeah.
That's 100% happening to everybody right now, and they're wondering why we're always sick, and we trust in all this pharmakia to get us fixed.
Yep. And cancer can't be healed.
Yep.
Even though there's cures out there, they aren't giving it to you.
Nope, because that's our curse, and we're being run by evil rulers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And Yahweh shall strike you with madness and with blindness and bewilderment of heart. Blindness. Remember that. And you shall be groping at noon, as at a blind man gropes in darkness, and not prosper in your ways. And you shall be only oppressed and plundered all the days, with no one to save you. You become engaged to a wife, but another man does lie with her. Yep, that's very true. You build a house, but do not dwell in it. You plant a vineyard, but do not use its fruit. Your ox is slaughtered before your eyes, but you do not eat of it. Your donkey is violently taken before you, and it is not given back to you. Your sheep are given to your enemies, with no one to save them. Your sons and your daughters are given to other people, and your eyes look and fail for them all day long, and your hand powerless. Is that not true, guys? I'd say that's pretty darn true.
Yeah, it's amazing how true that is.
Mm-hmm.
No
So
matter how
everybody,
hard, no matter how hard we try, sometimes it just seems like we cannot do the things we want to do.
yep, that's part of the curses. Yep, and you guys will be suffering it the most over there. I mean, we're suffering them too. I'm suffering them right now from all the sins that I've done in my life. We all have to pay for our sins, and but yeah, and just wait, TikToky. I'm sorry, I would much rather call you by your name, but that's the only thing I can call you by. Um, you're gonna start noticing some things over there. Your sons and your daughter are given. Okay, a people whom you have not known eat the fruit of your land and all your labors, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed all the days. Tell me that's not true, TikToky. The people of the land eating all the crops of your food. I know that's true. And you shall be maddened because of the sight which your eyes see. I know it's true, bro. I know it is. Yahweh strikes you in the knees and on the legs with evil boils, of which you are unable to be healed, and from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. And Yahweh brings you and the sovereign whom you set over you to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other mighty ones, wood and stone. Thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the peoples in which Yahweh drives you. Are we not? Do Muslims not sit there and just mock the crap out of us because they know that we're supposed to be keeping the law and we don't?
Yep. And everyone that was in here last night, we went on the wood and the stone extensively in Jeremiah last night.
Hmm. Thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the peoples to which Yahweh drives you. You take much seed out into the field, but gather little in, for the locust consumes it. There you go, TikToky. You plant vineyards and shall labor, but you neither drink of the wine nor gather, for the worm eats it. You have olive trees in all your border, but do not anoint with oil, for your olives drop off. You bring forth sons and daughters, but they are not with you, for they go into captivity. Locusts possess all your trees of the fruit of your ground. The sojourner who is among you rises higher and higher above you, but you come down lower and lower. He sends to you, he lends to you, but you do not lend to him. He is the head, and you are the tail. And all these curses shall come upon you, and they shall pursue and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the voice, the Messiah, of Yahweh, your Elohim, to guard his commands and his laws, which he commanded you. And they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and on your seed forever, because you did not serve Yahweh your Elohim with joy and gladness of heart for all the plenty. You shall serve your enemies whom Yahweh sends against you in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in need of all. And he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you. That yoke was in Deuteronomy 27 when we were handed over to Satan. Uh, 49. And Yahweh shall bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose language you shall not understand, a fierce looking nation, which shall show no regard for the elderly, nor show favor to the young. And they shall eat the fruit of your livestock and the fruit of your land until you are destroyed. They leave you no grain, nor new wine, nor oil, nor the increase of your cattle, or the offspring of your flocks, until they have destroyed you. And they shall besiege you in at all your gates, till your high and fenced walls, in which you are trusting, come down in all your land. Is that not happening here in America? And they shall besiege you at all your gates in all your land, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. And you shall eat the fruit of your own body and the flesh of your sons and your daughters, whom Yahweh your Elohim has given you, in the siege of distress in which your enemies distress you. The man among you who is tender and who is very delicate, his eye is evil against his brother, against the wife of his bosom, and against the rest of his children, whom he leaves behind. Mm. Against giving any of them the flesh of his children, and he eats, because it is all that has been left to him in the siege of distress with which your enemy distresses you in all your gates. The tender and the delicate woman among you, who has not tried to set the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and her tenderness. Her eye is evil against the husband of her bosom, and against her son, and against her daughter, and against her seed, which comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, for she eats them in secret for lack of all, and the siege of distress which your enemy distresses you in all your gates. If you do not guard to do all the words of this Torah that are written in this book, to fear the esteemed and awesome name of Yahweh your Elohim, then Yahweh shall bring upon you and the descendants extraordinary plagues, great and lasting plagues, and grievous and lasting sicknesses. And he shall bring back on you all the disease of Egypt, of which you are afraid, and they shall cling to you. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this Torah, Yahweh does bring upon you until you are destroyed. You hear that? And you shall be left with few men, although you had become as numerous as the stars of the heavens, because you did not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. That's the small remnant right there, brother. And it shall be that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and increase you so, Yahweh does rejoice over you to destroy you and lay you waste. And you shall be plucked from off the land which you go to possess. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all peoples from the end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other mighty ones, which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. And among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for the sole of your foot, because there Yahweh shall give you a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and sorrow of being. And your life shall be hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear night and day, and not be certain of your life. Please tell me that's not true. That is 100% true, guys.
My mind is being blown right now.
Yeah, that we're reading in Deuteronomy 28, brother, the curses and the blessings of the law.
I'm reading
Blessings.
along with you. I'm just telling you, my mind is being blown right now. Like I can't believe I have never seen this before. Wow,
Mhm. In
wow.
the In the morning you say, "Oh, that it were evening," and at the evening you say, "Oh, that it was morning," because of the fear of your heart with which you fear, and because of the sight which your eyes see. And Yahweh shall bring you back to Egypt in ships, by a way of which said to you, "You are never to see it again," and there you shall be sold to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one to buy. See, this is very prophetic, and this is something that the BHI like to sit there and say, "Oh, we were brought here in ships." No, man, this is talking about us being brought over here. Did we not come here on the Mayflower?
Yeah, and
And
nobody
now,
bought us.
Yeah, no one bought us. We made ourselves our own slaves
Right.
through this Egyptian system that we've created.
Right. They were bought. If they want to hold true to that, then they have to forget that very last part.
Oh, they don't. They ignore that, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of us have tried showing it. Like I said the other night, um, um, they you can show it, and it just doesn't. It doesn't. Again, you get the dial-up signal sound when you show them that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, it's no different than showing Christians and whatever what we try to show them. I mean, like the ones that are going to see it are going to see it, and the ones that aren't, and you just spend the time on the ones that see it. You know. But that's to say, you wish everybody would see it. That's what we want as loving human beings. But and I'm sure the Messiah wanted that too.
Hmm.
But that's not what everybody else wants. That's free will for you.
Yeah, they think Yeah, that's the only thing they hold fast to outside of not looking at Genesis 9,
Yeah,
understanding.
that was great though. Thank you for reading that. That was, I know I've read that chapter before, and I've never seen it. I just saw it. That was awesome.
Every single curse that's written in here, we're going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them.
Yep, you can see it too. Like you can absolutely see it.
So, and all this stuff is today's prophecy.
So we
So
got
we can go over to 29 and continue reading, and it
Carlton
applies
said
to us.
Carlton said Leviticus 26 is a second witness to Deuteronomy 28.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I haven't gotten that far in Leviticus. I've read Leviticus 3 times, but like I said, it I'm going into it deeper and deeper and seeing more that I missed last time. And that's just how it goes. Like every time I go through the Torah, like the last time I went through Genesis, it was like a whole new book for me, and that's why I started all the way from the beginning, and now I'm working my way all the way um, back to the prophets and just breaking it down like very slowly. I'm still at Leviticus 9, bro, and I've been on it for almost 3 weeks because I'm literally breaking down every single word. I'll take a picture of everything that I've written down. You'll understand why it's taking me so long because I'm breaking down words, all the Hebrew behind it, and the deeper meanings behind it, and understanding the slaughterings and the priestly garments and the tabernacle, just like Adrian was mentioning. You know, when people read that stuff about the gold rings and the rods that go through the Ark of the Covenant and the slaughter place and the north and the south side having the menorah and the ascending offerings at the west side. All that stuff has a very very specific meaning behind it, and it's way deeper than most can ever imagine. So when you guys run across that portion of scripture, don't ignore it, guys. I know it seems boring at first, and that's just because your mind is not focused on the deeper meanings behind it. But I promise you, when you really try to sit there and break it down word for word, you're going to realize it's really telling you something, how the heavenly council is established. And that's exactly how, because what has to happen in heaven has to happen here on earth. So it's very important to understand because that council is exactly how it happens in heaven.
Yeah, and he's showing us how it's going to happen on Earth over and over and over again. And I made a video today about that. That just like as this thing is being opened up to me and being unsealed, like I see the same story over and over and over again. And he's showing us the same message through the same word, the same thing the Messiah taught us, everything. It's all one message. And
That's all it is. It's
yeah,
just he's repeating himself over and over again.
yep. And when you can catch on to one part of it, then you can catch on to all of it, and you can see all of it in one from the beginning to the end. So, like, yeah, it's amazing, and it catches on. Like, it might seem it's hard to explain now that now that it's catching on. It's you can't just say it in a sentence. You know, it's something that you have to. Well, that's why we're on here every night, and we plan to be on here every night, is because we can't just say it in a sentence. It's so much more.
Hmm. Now that you've got the eyes to see, which I know you do, read chapter 29 for me,
All right.
and I'll read the next one.
All right. Those are the words of the covenant which Yahweh commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb.
Beside the covenant, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Moses called unto all Israel, and said unto them, Ye have seen all that Yahweh did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and all his servants unto all his land. The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs, and those great miracles. Yet Yahweh hath not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, unto this day. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxen old upon you, and thy shoe is not waxen old.
Let me mute. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll say something really ironic is that it's almost to the 40-year mark of my life to the T that my significant, well, let's see, I was 40 years old and 3 months or 5 months when I had the significant change. So that hits me right there when it says leading me 40 years in the wilderness. Ye have not eaten bread, neither have ye drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am Yahweh your Elohim. And when
Do
ye
you know what
keep,
that wine and strong? I'm sorry. I just wanted to point out. Do you know what that wine and strong drink is?
oh yeah, that's doctrine, like false doctrine, and
Okay. I just was making sure. I wanted to help you if you didn't. That's all.
yeah, bread, all of that, the bread, the wine, and the strong drink is all like false doctrine, whether it's atheism or, Christianity or whatever the church is feeding you, or even Judaism or Muslim or any of that. All right. And when ye came unto this place, Sihon, the king of Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us unto battle, and we smote them. And we took their land, and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Ye stand this day, all of you, before Yahweh your Elohim, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be when we're all gathered up.
Mm-hmm.
Your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some sojourners in there with us too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Just it matters who's going to keep his commandments, is who is the ones that are going to make it. That thou shouldest enter into covenant with Yahweh thy Elohim, and into his oath, which Yahweh thy Elohim maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee an Elohim, as he has said unto thee, and as he has sworn unto the fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here, with us this day before Yahweh our Elohim, and also with him that is not here with us this day. For you know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed. And ye have seen their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from Yahweh our Elohim to go and serve the mighty ones of these nations. Lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood.
And notice how it says in verse 16, for you know how we dwelt in the land of Egypt, like we're dwelling in the land of Egypt now, and
Right.
how we passed through the nations which you passed through, and you saw their abominations and their idols and their wood and stone, silver and gold, which were with them. Tell me, we see it, don't we?
Oh yeah, we know what's there. We could still be doing it with them if we wanted.
Yep, we see it. That's being called out, bro.
Yep. Yep.
They don't see it.
Right. Yeah, they still are worshiping it and thinking it's okay and acceptable by our Father when we see that it's unacceptable.
Exactly.
Yep.
This all still applies to us, guys. This isn't just for them back then. This is going to apply to us when we're going in. So this is all, every single word of this is very crucial to accept in your hearts, guys.
Hmm. Yeah, very much so. That's a good point. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, lest there should be any, or should be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turn away this day from Yahweh our Elohim to go and serve the mighty ones of these nations. Let there be should be among you a root that beareth gall. Oh, I already read that part. That's to Revelations right there, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Wood.
hmm
Excuse me. And it come to pass when he heareth the words of this curse. That just proves right there that he's talking about end days. He's not talking about back then. So this is prophetic.
It's very prophetic, yes.
Yep. I just wanted to point that out to anybody else that didn't catch that as
No,
well.
go for it, brother. I know you got ears, and I know you got ears to hear and eyes to see.
Thank you.
Go for it.
All right. And it come to pass when he heareth the words of this curse that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart and add drunkenness to thirst. Yeah, you can see right there that this is describing the Christian religion that's talking about they walk in the imagination of their heart and they're adding to their drunkenness because
hmm
they're thirsting for more because they don't have salvation. They haven't received the Holy Spirit.
And what did he do? I walk in the stubbornness of my heart in order to add drunkenness. I have peace. It's they're at peace with themselves. Us
Right.
who
That's
us who are know the truth, we're feeling the chastisements. They don't feel the chastisements.
exactly why some of us had to leave the church and couldn't find, we couldn't quench our thirst. And we realized, drunkenness wasn't enough for us. It didn't bring peace for us, but they're content in their sin. They're absolutely content eating their pork and, watching their football after they get done with their little 2-hour service. And that's fine with them. So,
Not even realizing that even sitting there watching football is like watching a Coliseum in Rome.
yep,
It's no different.
exactly. All right. Where was I at?
You were at verse 20.
Okay, that's where I thought it was. Thank you. And Yahweh will not spare him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and Yahweh shall blot out his name from under heaven.
Ooh,
That's not good.
no.
And Yahweh shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law. So that the generation to come of your children shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sickness which Yahweh hath laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that is, it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrown of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zebulun, which Yahweh overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Man, we are right there.
Yes, we are.
Right there. I
I'm
mean,
glad you can see it the way that you're seeing it right now. It's awesome.
yeah, it's I mean, we already have the plagues of the land and the sickness, and
Hmm.
we just don't have the burning, but we definitely have nothing being sown. You know, there is no goodness being sown,
Mm-mm.
no grass growing.
Mm-mm. No flowers, no tall trees bearing fruit. Well, we are the trees that are bearing fruit now.
We're
So,
trying, yeah, but it's gonna take. We're gonna have to be moved. Because we're not gonna. I mean, we're only gonna get our so many, and then we'll be out of here. So, right?
hmm,
Okay. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath Yahweh done this unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahweh Elohim of our fathers, of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
hmm.
All because of our transgression since Mount Horeb.
This applies to you greatly, TikToky. Just wanted to point that out to you, brother.
For they went and served other mighty ones and worshipped them, mighty ones whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. See what you just said right there.
Hmm.
Yeah. Of any of the lands, they are getting hit with all the plagues.
Hmm. Well,
That's
remember that was the land that was inherited to them, Jerusalem, beyond the rivers,
right.
and now they're being forced out because of all the things that are happening. You know, that's Yahweh's hand doing it.
Right. The secret things belong unto Yahweh our Elohim, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Torah. Hallelujah.
There it is. Hallelujah, guys.
Yes.
These are secret matters. So do we just keep the tin and eat clean, or do we do all the words of this Torah? We do
All
all
of
the
it.
words. We do
All
all of it, guys. Every inch of it. And that's why this that one last verse is truly a blessing for everybody in here who heard it. The secret matters belong to Yahweh, our Elohim, but what is revealed belongs to us and to our children forever to do all the words of this Torah. I love it.
that's our responsibility to make sure that our children know it and it gets passed on and they live as we are supposed to live. Hallelujah.
All right, I'll read this one for you. Let me get a drink of water. No partiality, guys. Yeah, and that's what I'm not trying to be mean to straight as the gate when I try to show them this stuff, but they're being so partial, um, and that let me put it this way. I thought about Proverbs 1 a lot lately. Like when it comes to if you turn to his reproof, which his reproof is all the words of this Torah. If you turn to his reproof, he will make known his words to you. If you don't turn to his reproof, do you think he'll make his words known to you? Mm-mm. And you can clearly see it in people, and it's really sad because all you have to do is just circumcise that heart and understand that you know we're supposed to listen to our Creator and what He said, and learn. And we've had this last 2,000 years to of darkness, and now we're being awoken, and we see all the abominations that are going on in the world, and we've been given the grace and the blessing to read this and understand that this is how the world is supposed to be established. It's His world, it's His creation, and we think we've had the mindset that we know how to run it better than Him. No, we need to listen to what He said, or we're going to go back under all these curses. And that's exactly why we need our teacher of righteousness, which is our Messiah, Yeshua. It's so awesome.
That's right. The story of Job, if you remember that, he asked him specifically, "Were you there when I created things?"
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't need our opinion when he created things, and he's not going to need our opinion when we die. So we just need to follow his word and follow what he says, because our opinion really doesn't matter. I tell people all this all the time, and they don't like to hear it, but I tell them the truth doesn't really care what you think.
True.
And
Amen.
honestly, it hurts a lot of feelings, but it hurts my feelings too when I have to say it.
It does. It does. I know the feeling. All right. So Deuteronomy 30. I got this one, brother. And it shall be when all these words come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you shall bring them back to your heart among all the nations where Yahweh your Elohim drives you. Just talking to us right now, bro. And shall turn back to Yahweh your Elohim and obey his voice according to all that I command you today. Is that just keeping the 10 and eating clean? All the words, guys. And it's talking about us right here. Let me reread that again. And it shall be, when all these words come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you shall bring them back to your heart. All these words will be brought back to, we shall bring all these words back to our hearts among all the nations where Yahweh, your Elohim, drives you. Are we driven? Have we been driven to the four corners? Yes. Is this true? Yes. We're waking up, and we're allowing these words into our heart now. And shall turn back to Yahweh your Elohim and obey his voice according to all that I command you today, with all your heart and with all your being, you and your children. Then Yahweh your Elohim shall turn back your captivity and shall have compassion on you, and he shall turn back and gather you from all the peoples where Yahweh your Elohim has scattered you. Matthew 24, ringing a bell? This is last day's prophecy right here, guys.
Absolutely.
If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under the heavens, this is talking to us, from there Yahweh your Elohim does gather you, and from there he does take you. And Yahweh your Elohim shall bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. And he shall do good to you and increase you more than your fathers. Man, this is beautiful. This is awesome. I love it. And Yahweh your Elohim shall circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed to love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, so that you might live. And Yahweh your Elohim shall put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. And you shall turn back and obey the voice, Yeshua, our of Yahweh, and do all his commands which I command you today. And Yahweh your Elohim shall make you have access in all the work of your hand, and the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground for good. For Yahweh turns back to rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. If you obey the voice of Yahweh, Yeshua, he is the word, your Elohim, to guard his commands and his laws, which are written in this book of the Torah, the 10 and eat clean? No, the Torah. If you turn back to Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, for this command which I commanding you today, it is not too hard for you, nor is it too far off. I really wish this, some of the Straight as the Gate group would come in here and just listen to this. It's not a hard thing, guys. It's not. Are you going to be persecuted? Yes, that's about the only hardest thing about it is you're going to lose everything for it, and it'll be worth it in the end. It is not in the heavens to say, who shall ascend into the heavens for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it. Nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it. For the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart to do it. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil, and that I am commanding you today to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to guard his commands and his laws and his right rulings, and you shall live and increase, and Yahweh your Elohim shall bless you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you do not obey, and shall be drawn away, and shall bow down to other mighty ones and serve them, I have declared to you today that you shall certainly perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you are passing over the Jordan to enter and to possess. I have called the heavens and the earth as witness today against you. I have set before you life and death, and blessing and the curse. Therefore you shall choose life, so that you live, both you and your seed, to love Yahweh your Elohim, to obey his voice, Yeshua, and to cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, to dwell in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. That's beautiful, guys. I love it.
Yes, it is. That is great.
Because every single word of that just applied to us today. To
Yeah.
understand, to us to receive in our hearts and to understand and hear.
That is so awesome. Like, just to read that now, like, so awesome. I'm glad you wanted to do this tonight. That is great.
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking, it's like, we can take a break from the prophets. Let's go over some Torah. We need to go over some Torah. I think everybody needed to hear some of the words of our Father through the Torah, on our commands.
Yeah, and TikTok, he said he really needed to hear it. So that's great. I haven't ever seen him before, so the chances that he came in and just heard what he needed to hear is proof of our Father working right there.
Mhm. This brother, be TikTok, you just be obedient, brother, and you'll be fine over there. You gotta have faith in that. I know things are looking really down over there right now. Just keep the faith, brother. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing in his eyes. All right, you know what? I'll read chapter 31 too, if you want.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I gotta move my dog around and check on the kids and stuff for a minute and use the restroom. So I'll be in and out for a minute.
Hmm.
Thank you, brother.
All right, TikTok, you have a wonderful day at work, and I'll pray for you guys. I pray for you guys every night. I'm always thinking about you guys, so stay safe. And thanks for coming in and listening to us over here in the West. Just know that we're thinking about you over there, okay? Much love. All right, Deuteronomy 31. And Moses went and spoke these words to all Israel, and he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And Yahweh has said to me, you do not pass over this Yarden. Yahweh your Elohim himself is passing over before you. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. Joshua himself is passing over before you, as Yahweh has spoken. And Yahweh shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og and the sovereigns of the Amorites in their land when he destroyed them. And Yahweh shall give them over to you, and you shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For it is Yahweh your Elohim who is going with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. And Moses called Joshua and said to him, before the eyes of all Israel, be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Yahweh has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. Who do you think this Joshua is representing, guys? It's Yeshua. It's just a representation, guys. I'm calling him Joshua just in case somebody in here is not used to hearing it. Yeah, it's Yeshua. That's yeah. It's a representation of our Messiah. All right, and it is Yahweh who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged. And Moses wrote this Torah and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, which would be the 144, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and to all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, at the appointed time, the year of release at the festival of Sukkot, when all Israel comes to appear before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men, and the women, and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates, so that they hear, and so that they learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim, to guard, to do all the words of this Torah. And their children who have not known it should hear and learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim as long as you live in the land you are passing over the Yarden to possess. And Yahweh said to Moses, see, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Joshua, Yeshua, and present yourselves in the tent of appointment so that I command him. And Moses and Yeshua went, Yehoshua, or Joshua, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to change the word, guys, but I know what it represents. It's Joshua. I'll just say Joshua. Joshua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment, and Yahweh appeared at the tent in a column of a cloud. And the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahweh said to Moses, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the foreigners of the land, into the midst of which they shall enter and forsake me and break my covenant which I made with them. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day. Key right there, in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed. And many evils and distresses shall come upon them. And it shall be said in that day, is it not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us? And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write down the song for yourselves and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths so that this song is to me for a witness against the children of Israel. For I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers, and they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat. Then they shall turn to other mighty ones, and they shall serve them and scorn me and break my covenant. And it shall be, when many evils and distresses upon them, that this song shall answer before them as a witness, those who will be singing the song of Moses. For it is not to be forgotten in the mouths of their seed, for I know their thoughts which they are forming today, even before I bring them to the land of which I swore to give them. And Moses wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel. And Yahweh commanded Joshua the son of Nun and said, Be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Israel into the land of which I swore to them, and I myself am with you. And it came to be, when Moses had completed writing the words of this Torah in a book until their completion, and Moses commanded the Levites who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, Take this book of the Torah, you shall place it beside the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, and it shall be there as a witness against you. For I myself know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahweh. Then how much more after my death? Assemble unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, so that I speak these words in their hearing, and call the heavens and the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you shall do very corruptly, and turn aside from the way which I commanded you, and evil shall come to you in the latter days, because you do what is evil in the eyes of Yahweh, to provoke him through the work of your hands. So Moses spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Israel the words of the song till their completion. It's so awesome, guys.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back, brother.
I missed that little bit there. Would you just finish up 32?
Yeah, 33.
Oh, 33. All right. You want me to finish up 34 for you?
I'm sorry. Did I say 33? 31. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay, we're on the Song of Moses.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 32 is Song of Moses, full of parables.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'll start reading that. Let me get my glasses back on and I'll get going.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, I'll still hear you. I have my headpiece in, but I'm just gonna mute my mic.
All right. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew. Who's this speaking? This is the Messiah right here. As a small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahweh. Ascribe ye greatness unto our Elohim. He is the rock, his work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment, an El of truth and without iniquity. Just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. That's us. Do ye thus requite Yahweh, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he the Father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask the Father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. Does that sound like Revelations right there? 144,000. So Yahweh alone did lead him, and there was no strange El with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increases of the fields. And he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys, of wheat, and thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat, and kicked, thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Eloah, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange mighty ones, with abominations provoked them they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Eloah, to mighty ones whom they knew not, to new mighty ones that came newly up, whom their fathers feared not. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art mindful, and hast forgotten El that formed thee. Yeah, that's like right now they're forgetting about the Father and worshiping the Messiah or their Jesus, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
all prophecy of the last days here.
right.
This is the Song of Moses.
And when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. Is that what's not happening right now? He's just looking away, letting us do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned that last night when I said he turned his head away from us and allowed us to do our own thing and learn our own lesson.
Exactly. And what are we doing? We're just playing the fool behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't even trying to honor him or follow his way. We're just having a merry old time. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not El. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not of people.
Mm.
Mhm. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
It's exactly how I got woke up.
Is moving them to jealousy.
No, I was moved to jealousy by a foolish nation.
Ah,
That's exactly what sparked me to wake up.
do you want to go into detail about that, or do you want me to keep reading?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. No, I don't. I don't think that would be well. But
All right.
Adrian knows the situation. Was in a tough spot and ran across the other nation that he was using to cause me to become jealous and feel some sort of way. And
Gotcha.
that's what sparked me to wake up.
Gotcha. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest pit, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Does that not sound like the end times? I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust, the locust army. It'd be like their tails, the poison that harms them for 5 months or whatever it is. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said I would scatter them into the corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, lest they should say, our hand is high, and Yahweh hath not done all this. That's happening today. We can see that. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. That is us, or this U.S.
Mm-mm. No, that's the other nations.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that they are wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end.
All these nations that are sitting around boasting and saying we're this and we're that. Those who say they are but are not, but do lie.
Oh, I got you. Yep, I got
Mm-hmm.
you. That little piece of land over there.
Not even just that little piece of land. There's a bunch of them popping up all over the place saying that.
That is true. You know, as we were going through things, you kind of explained that a little bit on the true location of stuff when you sent that video.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, and they would not, and that they would consider their latter end. Now that's speaking of us. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and Yahweh had shut them up? For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah, and their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps.
Serpents.
Yep.
But serpent seed don't exist.
And notice how it says wine is a poison of dragons. You can use that for
Mm-hmm.
reference in future readings. If you don't know that wine means evil doctrine or stuff that spews out of the enemy's mouth.
Mm-hmm. Also in verse 27, it says, if I did not fear the enemy's taunt, lest their adversary, I'm sorry, go back, 24, wasted by scarcity of food and consumed by heat and bitter destruction, and the teeth of beast, remember that, beasts, send
Mm-hmm.
upon them with the poison of serpents, plural, of the
Yep.
dust.
Yep. And then we just read about the asps, which are the serpents.
Mm-hmm. And the cobras.
Mm-hmm. Is not this laid up in store with me and sealed up among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For Yahweh shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left.
That's right. When our power is almost gone, Israel's power, not all the nations of the world, but Israel's power is almost gone. What is he going to do?
Then he'll repent. And he shall say, where are their mighty ones, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings?
That's right.
Yeah. Like all the prayers and stuff that all the Christian churches are doing to Baal.
Mm-hmm.
Let them rise up and help you and be your protection. Yeah, let them three evil spirits of the frog in Revelations come and help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no mighty one with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand, out of the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment,
Who
I
do you
will
think that's talking about?
the glittering sword,
Mm-hmm. Who's coming with the sword?
the word.
Yep. Who's the hand? It's all talking about Messiah right here, guys.
Right. The Messiah with the word will make judgment. He's not going to judge on anything on somebody's heart or somebody's feelings. He's going to judge on what we have in our hands right now. So if we're not doing that, then we're going to be judged accordingly as lawless ones. Just so everybody knows,
Mm-hmm.
because nothing changed when he hit the cross or was on the stake when he was crucified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his word is true from the beginning to the end, and anybody that tells you any different, we're showing you that it's still true to the end.
Anybody that rejects any word of this book is an enemy.
Yep.
Read
And
it.
that whole doctrine was created by the Romans. It's a Greek doctrine. It's not a Hebrew doctrine. The faith only doctrine is not a Hebrew doctrine.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
No. So you better think about that. I'll bring this up. You know, when I went to church, this guy, he started this little podcast and he called it Agape. And I was like, oh man, that's kind of cool. You know, it means love, but I never really thought about it until today when I was thinking about my study that I'm doing with love and how agape is a Greek word. And I'm like, why would you want to inherit the Greek part? Like they didn't speak Greek, they weren't Greek. Why would you want to inherit a word that isn't even their word? Like, they didn't go around saying agape, the Messiah and his disciples. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have went and said that to them, they wouldn't have had any clue what you were talking to them.
You walk around that day saying Jesus, they wouldn't know who you were talking about either.
Right. Right. Like I can understand, you know, somebody like I'm going to tell them my name is Daniel and they might say like Daniel, you know, like they can't really pronounce it. But if someone calls me Ralph, I am not going to look at them. I am not going to pay attention.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We all came to the truth by the name of Jesus, but we studied this out and learned, you know. Um, and I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not going to front y'all. When I was first coming to truth, what got me questioning the name of Jesus was the movie Passion of Christ when they were calling him Yeshua. I'm like, Yeshua? Why? Why are they calling him that? I thought his name was Jesus. And that's when I started digging and started looking. It's like, oh, it is Yeshua. Okay, so why do we call him Jesus? And then I started digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's like, oh, there it is. So I'm eight right here.
Mm. Yep, that'll do it. Hey, can you start over? I just got here. Yeah, sure thing.
Wait,
Let's rewind a little bit there, CrossFit.
let's go all the way back to Deuteronomy 28.
Oh, we love to, Sheila, but I think that might take a little too long.
Yeah.
All right. I think I was at 47, or where was I?
You were at 41.
Oh, okay.
Right under. Yeah.
Yep, yep. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood. This is 32:42, I should say.
Hold up, hold up. Back up a little bit. Go back to verse 41. I want to
Oh yeah,
make
I didn't
very
finish
clear and
that one, did I?
Mhm. It's important.
Okay. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me.
Let me ask you something. If you don't believe in keeping all the words of this Torah, every word that's written in this book, do you love the Father?
Mm, mm. Yeah, who's the one that gave the commandments? And then who's the one that said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments?
That's right. No, he's going to repay those who hate him. And those people who are rejecting these words right now, even, I'm not going to try not to gossip and say, but there's people running around pridefully saying the things that they're saying, saying that we only keep the 10 and eat clean, nothing else, everything else is something else, and we're just going to ignore that. He's going to repay those who hate him.
Yep.
All you're doing is proving you hate his word, and his word is his Messiah.
Yep. And this reward that's spoke of is not a good reward. This is, have you ever seen the movie Aladdin? Where
Oh yeah,
Jafar's like, ooh, they will get their reward.
yep.
That's
Bill, I think you're in the wrong lie, bud. We know exactly who our Messiah is, as it is written all throughout the scriptures. Luke 24:44 through 45, all the law of the prophets and the Psalms speak things concerning him. He said it himself. So um, either hang out and just listen and learn, or go, go find you a Sunday worshiping Jesus Christ faith only. But this is not what this is about. This channel is solely for people to come to truth and understand how to turn back to the Father full heart, soul, and mind, while keeping faith in our Messiah, who is not God, who is the Son of God.
and like you said, you're more than welcome to listen, but if you start arguing in the comments, you'll just be muted. That's just the way it works. Um, all right, we're at 32:42 now. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives, from the beginning of revenges upon thy enemy.
Huh, that's weird. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pause you, but
You're
my
fine.
my translation says something completely different, and I can precept mine.
Let's hear
Um,
it.
I make my arrows drunk with blood, which is the other nations. My sword devours flesh, which is the other nations, with the blood of the slain and the captives, the long-haired enemy chiefs.
Wow, that's way different.
Way different, yeah. And I trust this translation a lot more than I trust the King James. Hold on, let me want to pull that up real quick.
Yeah. We haven't taken any detours yet tonight, so
No, I was trying not to. I wanted to stick directly to the Torah, but that definitely got me curious right there, because I do. I trust this the TS 2009, or the Scriptures version of the Bible, comes directly from the Promised Land.
yeah.
Yes, it comes from beyond the rivers.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hmm. There's a
Alexander
couple things that I saw. Huh?
Alexander says her Bible is different as well. Is it different from what Crucifix wrote or read, or?
Pull it up right now.
I think my wife has a new Bible coming for me. I'm pretty sure she got me a Scriptures Bible coming.
They're relatively cheap. A lot of people like them. I like it because I know where it came from, and I like the way it words. It's very fluent. The King James really, I trip up on trying to read that all the time. It's hard for me to read, which I don't mind the King James. I'm using the King James right now to pull up what I'm trying to pull up in the concordance. And usually when you're reading, I'm following along with you in the King James version.
Yeah, it trips me up sometimes, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It's kind of what I learned on as a kid, so I don't mind it. But it definitely makes me read a little bit slower, which that's a good thing as well.
Hmm. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and the captives from the beginning, and revenges upon the enemy. Hold on a second. It just says that the adversary.
Who would that captives is 7633? What is that word?
For an app that blocks ads. It blocks ads. Sorry.
Oh,
This concordance app that I have has ads.
I can
Okay.
Bible too.
My sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and the captives. Sheba, exiled captives. From the beginning. Yeah, I'm not seeing that in the translation either. That's revenges. Leaders. The revenges is leaders,
Huh.
which it says enemy chiefs. In the being sense of beginning, leadership, plural, concretely leaders avenging revenge. But where did they get long-haired enemy chiefs? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting. Oh well, it's fine. I just wanted to pull that up. I caught that while you were because I'm reading along with you in mine, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that'd stick out for sure. That's quite a bit different. But that could mean a lot of different peoples. But
Well, the reason why, where it talks about long-haired. Uh,
Samson,
Hold on.
strength.
No, no, no. In prophecy. Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. Let's just keep going. Well, I'll figure it out later, and I'll probably make a video on it because that's kind of important.
Okay, awesome. All right. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge with blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. And he said unto Shem, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do, all the words of this law.
That's right. Oh,
All of it. Again, for it is, we hear it almost at least once every chapter for sure.
yep.
For it
Heard
is,
it twice. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry.
like on average for sure we hear it, once at least, maybe twice, like you said, yeah. But that one time we heard it twice in 3 verses.
Mm-hmm.
For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and
It
through
is your life.
right. It's not a vain thing. You should not be prideful if you're doing the work, because it's your life, it's your everlasting life. Who cares what anyone else thinks?
Mm-hmm.
For through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land, whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And Yahweh spake unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, get thee up onto this mountain, Abraham, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die
Mm-hmm.
in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people. Because ye trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Deep stuff.
Yeah. Very good. Do you want me
I
to
think we
keep
should do
going?
more. Uh,
What were you going to say?
yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. I'll read this one.
Okay.
33. And this is the blessing with which Moses, the man of Elohim, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yahweh came from Sinai and rose from Seir for them. He shone forth from Mount Paran and came with 10,000 of set apart ones. At his right hand, a law of fire for them. Think about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Indeed, he loves the peoples. All his set apart ones are in your hand. And they sat down at your feet receiving your words. Moses commanded us a Torah, an inheritance of the assembly of Jacob. And he was sovereign in Yeshurun when the heads of the people were gathered, the tribes of Israel. Let Reuben live and not die, and let his men be numbered. And this of Judah. And he said, Hear, Yahweh, the voice of Yehuda, and bring him to his people. His hands shall fight for him, and you be a help against his enemies. And Levi, he said, your Tummim and your Urim belong to your loving committed one, whom you tried at Massa, with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah, who said of the fathers and mother, I have not seen them. And he did not acknowledge his brothers, or know his own children, for they have guarded your word and watched over your covenant. They teach your right rulings to Jacob and your Torah to Israel. They put incense before you and complete ascending offerings on your slaughter place. O Yahweh, bless his strength and accept the work of his hands. Smite the loins of those who rise against him and of those who hate him, that they rise no more. Of Benjamin he said, Let the beloved of Yahweh dwell in safety by him, shielding him all the day as he dwells between his shoulders. And of Joseph he said, Blessed, O Yahweh, in his land with the choicest from the heavens and with the dew and the deep lying beneath and the choice fruits of the sun, with the choice yield of the months, with the finest of the ancient mountains, and with the choicest of the everlasting hills, with the choicest of the earth and all that fills it, and the good pleasure of him who dwells in the bush. Let it come on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. His splendor is like a firstborn bull, and his horns are like the horns of the wild ox. With them he pushes the people to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, O Zebulun, in your going out, and Yishkar your tents. They call peoples to the mountain. There they slaughter slaughterings of righteousness, for they draw from the riches of the righteousness, for they draw from the riches of the seas and treasures hidden in the sand. And O Gad, he said, Blessed is he who enlarges Gad. He dwells as a lion and shall tear off the arm, also the crown. And he chose the best for himself, for there the portion of the inscriber was hidden. And he came with the heads of the people. The righteousness of Yahweh he did, and his right rulings with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is the lion's cub that leaps from Bashan. And Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with pleasure and filled with the blessing of Yahweh, possess the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Asher is most blessed of sons. Let him be accepted by his brothers and dip his foot in oil. Your sandals are iron and bronze, and your strength as your days. O Yeshurun, there is no one like El, riding the heavens to help you, and on the clouds in his excellency. And Elohim of old is a refuge and beneath our everlasting arms, and he drives out the enemy from before you and says, Destroy. Thus Israel dwells in safety in the fountain of Jacob alone, in a land of grain and new wine, new doctrine. His heavens also drop down dew, the latter rains. Blessed are you, O Israel, who is like you, a people saved by Yahweh, the shield of your help, and he who is the sword of your excellency. And your enemies are subdued for you, and you tread down their high places. And Moses went up from the desert plains of Moab to Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite of Jericho, and Yahweh showed him all the land of Gilead as far as Dan, and all of Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah as far as the western sea, and the Negev, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, and the city of the palm trees as far as Sor. And Yahweh said to him, This is the land of which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, To your seed I give it. I have let you look at it with your eyes, but you do not pass over there. And Moses, the servant of Yahweh, died there in the land of Moab, according to the mouth of Yahweh. And he buried him in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite of Bethel Peor, and no one knows his burial place to this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his freshness gone. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the desert plains of Moab 30 days. And the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were completed. And Joshua the son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him, and the children of Israel listened to him and did as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And since then no prophet has arisen in Israel like Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face, for all the signs and the wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt before Pharaoh and before all his servants and all his land, and for all the strong hand and all the great fearsome deeds which Moses did before the eyes of all Israel.
Hallelujah. Thank you for reading that, brother. That
No
was,
problem.
I'm glad you brought us over there tonight. That was a nice break from what we were doing. And, it was still reading the same type of stuff, though, just a different spot. And I think it hit home for a lot of people tonight as well that needed to hear it. So I'm glad the Father is leading you and leading us to bring us all together and hit people where they need to be hit. So
Keep going. Joshua, the book of Joshua, explaining that as the second Exodus, it's going to be really hard. Um, um, yeah, because that's going to happen again, guys. Joshua is the representation of the Messiah, and and what they're going to do when they go into the land, because we're going into a land. That's what all prophecy says. That we're going into a land with the Messiah to reign with the Messiah for 1,000 years, and just like Israel of old with Joshua, same with the Israel of new with Joshua. When we go into that land, many nations shall be driven out. It comes with an eviction notice to the inhabitants of the land that's already there. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
yeah, that's well, that would be interesting to read as well. Um, Kind of compare that with like Ezekiel and stuff.
Hmm. All the nations that are there will be driven out. If you know where it is, you know.
Hmm. Well, I got to get the kiddos to bed, so I don't know if there's anything else you want to go over, but now would be the time to do it. If anybody has any questions or anything they want to say, including you, Michael. Go right ahead.
Oh, I'm fine. If anybody has any questions that is within reason to answer here on TikTok.
Yeah, we'll do what we can. Otherwise, you can message us and we'll do what we can. And um, yeah, we also have, let's see, all my lives that I do or that we do. Um, I put on the YouTube channel that's linked to my profile, and there's days worth of content on there, and we're always adding at least a couple hours a day usually. So um, look on there, and if you want to, if you miss something or whatever, you can always go on there. Last night you got to see me go to the bathroom on the green screen, so not facing it but my back. So yeah, I'm still hearing about it today from everybody.
Oh, you'll hear about it for a while. I got to hear about it for a while too, so it's all good.
It didn't show anything. It's still legit to post. So that's good. And I was muted at least. I heard that someone else they did kind of a similar thing and they weren't muted. So that was
Yeah, at least you were muted. Everybody got to hear everything, the juicy details of everything.
yeah.
So I guess tomorrow, if you want, we can go over, start at the beginning of Deuteronomy, or we could just start going through the Torah. You know, the Torah is the most important to understand. The only thing that I would steer away from everybody and ask everybody to go study for themselves, if it was my opinion, because it's just too hard to try to explain, is all the sacrificing and the slaughterings of the Levites in the book of Leviticus.
Hmm.
Um, and the only reason why is because there's so much spiritual understanding parables in there that it would, I could just read it for you and read it for what it says. And yes, I mean it is how every, because sacrificial law was added for transgression, but there's so much more in there that's being said for the latter days and how the 144 will be anointed as well. So it'll be really hard. But outside of that, I would more than happy be to just go through the Torah with you guys. So
Yeah, that sounds great to me. And I'm going to be doing probably a live tomorrow, and I'll just continue going through the minor prophets as I do my lives by myself while Michael's working and stuff, and I have some free time in this cold weather. And yeah, and then we'll put Jeremiah on the back burner until we're done with Deuteronomy, and we'll save that and go through that
I
afterward.
think it would be good for everybody because, to understand the prophets, you need to understand the Torah. And,
Yeah.
so people will less explaining along the way, people will just catch on to the, the meatier portions of the prophets.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a couple ideas on some studies that I've been wanting to do. Like, you know how I normally do my lives by myself where I'm not really teaching. I got one on love I've been trying to do 2 times now, which I got broke. Not a bad thing, but obviously it's just him telling me that it's not the right time and I'm not ready yet. So um, I did have more studying I wanted to do on that anyways, but that'll be a good one to do.
I think
And
so.
yeah, it's the one that always, people need to hear about love all the time. That's something we all need to keep in our hearts. Otherwise, there's no reason to do anything that we're doing. If he
Love all
doesn't
my
love
brothers and
us,
sisters.
yep. If he doesn't love us and we don't love each other and we don't love him, then what are we doing it for? Honestly, you know.
I know you guys have heard me say it multiple times when I make my videos towards Straight as the Gate, where I tell them, look, all I want to do is have a conversation with y'all. And I want to take them over to this book that we just went over and let them hear the words. That's all I want to do. I don't want to argue with them. I don't want to sit there and say, let's have a debate. Let's see who's got the bigger crotch. Let's just go through what the scriptures say and come to reason together, because that's really all I want to do with Straight as the Gate. But as long as they keep doing what they're doing, I'm just gonna point out the holes in their buckets continually, because they're deceiving people. And when I see good brothers and sisters going to them and showing doing partiality and not listening to the word for what it says, it really breaks my heart because I see a soul dying is what I see. I don't see like just a person, you know, walking away. I see a soul going to hell. That's what I see. And I see there's good people in that group that have their minds have been corrupted by their doctrine, and just trust the word. That's all I'm trying to put forth is just listen to what Yahweh said. He's your creator. But
And your words are so true. There is good people in there, just like there's good people in the Christian church and stuff like that that just have been fed lies for their whole life, just like a lot of us have. Um, but the sad truth is that straight as a gate is everywhere. I joined this group called Raising the Family in Torah on Facebook,
mm-hmm,
and there's like right away I joined it 2 days ago, and I saw a post today of someone promoting straight as a gate, and
mm-hmm,
it's like holy cow, like they're everywhere. So
mm-hmm. That's why I said, I'll still say it today. I think they're the last stumbling block before this tribulation starts.
mhm. Yeah, to
I
get
think
the
they
people
are.
that are the closest to the truth, because I mean they got to have something to get the, he's got to have something counterfeit to what the actual truth is, and that's the closest thing. That's, the counterfeit closest thing. So
Yep, because he actually reads through the prophets. Remember, Satan knows scripture better than anybody.
yep. Like I said, they almost got me. I mean, I had one guy lead me in. I was seeking truth and came out of the Christian church and was following the Torah, and then they kind of like said some things that sounded very appealing, and
Mm-hmm.
and then I started listening, and I was actually paying attention. And me, I'm an analyst, so it only took me a week, and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of things that are wrong here. But some people, they don't see it as fast, and they don't see it at all, and that's sad. I wish I could help on that journey, but I get too angry, and it'll lead me to sin, so I can't.
No, but I'll tell you what I've been planning on doing. Once I'm moved out of this place and I'm free from, the obligations I have here at this home, I plan on going to these early Sunday morning, you know, um, Bible studies and just going in there and asking questions, just nicely, not saying, oh, you're wrong, you're stupid. No, I'm just going to go in there, sit down with my Bible. I'll probably bring a King James so people won't think of me some kind of way. And I'm just going to ask questions. Just,
Yeah.
okay, why does this say this? And, you know, that's been my plan for um, probably about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks now. So, and I've decided once I get established at the little shack that I'm going to is that's what I plan on doing.
Nice, nice. I've been thinking about how I can do something like that as well. Like, as I know, there's people that I actually, even though I don't talk with them anymore, there's people that I have love for in my heart that are in my community, and I would love to lead them to the truth, but I haven't thought about a good way how to infiltrate the church. I don't want to do it how they are, and maybe
No,
learn some of that from you on what you do. So I'm excited to see some of that.
yeah, we can get together and come up with a plan too if you want.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah, like some kind of script, or like not scripted, but you know what I mean. Like we have verses that are lined up that we have questions that are good questions to ask.
And we're not going to sit there and record the whole thing and then post it on TikTok. That's,
Right.
this will be all in private. I'm just throwing out my plans to y'all. I might bring it up when I start doing it, but I'm not going to sit there and post it all on TikTok. Look at me, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No, no, no. That's
I
not how
want
we
to
do
do it
things.
with you.
Huh?
I want to
Oh,
do it
dude,
with you.
yeah, I would like to do it with you too. Maybe me and you both. I hate that we're so far away because me and you both could just walk in there, sit down, and ask tough questions.
Oh man, wouldn't that be powerful right there? Wow.
Oh, dude, that's what Luke in the book of Luke. He sent them out by twos, pairs.
Right. And just like TikTok was saying at the beginning of this, like he made a comment that was, it really, I mean, I noticed what he said the last couple nights is like, he was like, wow, you guys are both speaking out of one mouth. It is amazing to see. And I was like, wow, we have been like, we just pick up where each other leaves off. Like this, it flows so good.
It does, and that's because we're in one mind and one understanding. We trust exactly what this word says. We don't reject anything that it says, and we believe that we should keep everything that's written in it.
Yeah. Looks like we got some other brothers that are game on here. So, yeah, we can all come together and come up. Anybody that wants to help out on this, come on, let's do it.
Yeah,
We
we're
all,
getting too close now. We might as well try to, the laborers are few. I mean, yes, we brought a lot of people to truth here on TikTok. Brother Adrian has, Brother Jason has, a lot of people have. Um, but I think it's time we need to. I think we need to start, getting putting our sandals on our feet and start kicking up dust if needed.
yeah, I've been wondering how we can take it to the streets ever since TikTok was going to shut down. I've been wondering how to take it to the streets. And
I wouldn't take it to the streets. I'd just go sit down and one. I think that would be the most feasible way. I don't know why, but standing on a street's corner
well,
yelling in a
no, I don't mean
microphone.
that. I mean doing it face to face when I say that, like, yeah, I'm not going to be the crazy guy on the corner. No. Um,
No.
no, but like, yeah, I mean, like going, like talking to people that are the people that are holding Bibles in their hands, like,
Yeah. Hmm. No,
like they,
I get it.
yeah,
Kelly, we didn't bring you the truth. Yahweh removed the scales so you could see. All we did was toss the seed. We're just the plowmen. No, it wasn't us. It was Yahweh.
yep,
It's His will whose eyes He opens. You just heard the word, and it was sown in your heart, and that's all there was to it.
yep. And if you didn't mean for your eyes to be open and see it, you probably wouldn't see it either because your heart, and the proof that you can see the things that you see means that your heart is in it.
Yeah, you had a heart circumcision. Okay, I
Yep.
did wrong. Let's do it right.
Yep. So embrace that and follow it. And hey, good night, Nikolai. Thank you for
Good
being
night,
here.
Nikolai.
And yeah, try to embrace and receive everything that he has for you. Because if you start doubting or thinking you're not worthy or anything like that, then that's where it starts leading you the wrong direction.
That's Satan whispering in your ear, guys, and he's been doing the same thing to me a lot lately. I can't tell you how many intrusive thoughts I've had to cast out, especially with everything I'm going through right now. I mean, I could just sit here for 2 hours and tell you my life story, what's going on in my life right now. It would blow your mind, but that's not what it's about. We're all eventually going to start going through those things. So,
Yeah.
he's going to divide households. He's going to remove us from situations that are bad for us, and I'm fully aware of that. And even still, sometimes I feel like that urge to just, that I feel it. It's there. Like I just want to stop, and I want to get angry, and I want to just cry out and yell about everything that I'm going through. But I sit there in silence, and then I remind myself I need to be at peace and serenity and trust this process. So that's what keeps me going.
Absolutely.
I always like to think about what happened with Joseph when he went into prison in Egypt. So
Yeah. Hallelujah. Yes, and that's it. Keeping the peace, because we're always going to be in a storm. This world is a storm.
it is one big slaughter place.
Yep. But yeah,
Oh,
prayers to you, She Light, and thank you all for being here. I got to get myself and these kids to bed, so um,
yep.
thank you all, and I love you, and Michael, I love you too, and we will see you again tomorrow. Well, not see you, but talk and chat and whatnot. So
I love you too, bro. You have yourself a good night, man, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you guys, and make sure you lay down in bed and just think about all the wonderful things that you know about the Father. I tell you what, it puts me to sleep every time. So,
yep,
with that, guys,
meditate on Him.
much love, guys. Have a good night.
Night.